I'm not sure that I understand if there's really that much of a financial benefit for us pulling this off the shelf. I mean, where's the consumer's responsibility to know what they ought to be taking and what they are not supposed to be taking?
Well, it is the consumer's responsibility. However, you are still liable, as we have said, in that you are distributing the products and selling these products.
Now, why is our company liable for the distribution? We didn't make it.
Because you are providing, you are selling it. That is segregated. There are settlements going against Two and Lab, who's a manufacturer of some of these products, and different producers of these products. If you still are liable to GNC because you are distributing the products, and in most cases that are all pending right now, there was no warning labels displayed on the bottles.
But they have warning labels now, right? Why can't we
No, not all of them do not have them now.
Well, so we just put warning labels on. I mean, how many people are really getting hurt by this? What percentage? 1%? Half percent?
You know, it's hard to say exactly what percent, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15, we don't know. Millions and millions of consumers use these products each year.
And
as
only
we said,
100 have died?
over 100 have died.
And you can
reported
prove
these
it
products.
directly it was our product?
They have done that, correct.
Well, you know, it's just a fear.
And how do those statistics differ from other products on the market? In other words, what's an acceptable rate of injury or death, if you will, from a product? And how do our products compare with the norm, you know?
An acceptable rate of death from your products, we feel for your company ethically, is none. If any products you are supplying a consumer causes death, causes them to lose their life from them taking it, we feel that's unacceptable.
Well, then how do you justify, if you use that standard, then it's hard to imagine what company that produces any product would survive. What about those, let's go to the, apparently, what about cigarettes? And what about the makers of alcohol? Don't their products can't they ultimately cause death? And why shouldn't they take their products off the market?
I think that's a really good question. And the reason being is that alcohol and cigarette companies don't have a mission statement that says to live well. Those companies aren't trying to promote health.
Well, but don't their advertising, isn't that what their advertising is all about? Really living well, having fun, regardless of whether they come out and say it, the words live well. I mean, they're kind of promoting, if you think about it, this kind of lifestyle enhancement that our products do. And I'm struggling with, gee, why not just wait until we're prohibited and let the buyer beware? Why not, I agree with my fellow judge, why not just increase our warnings, take every single step we can take to make sure that it's ultimately the consumer's choice. And aren't we actually providing a service to a sector of the population that really needs weight loss assistance?
Well, cigarette and alcohol companies are promoting fun. They're not really promoting health, as you are. So I think that would be the #1 difference. The other thing is, if you were to wait until you were prohibited, that would ultimately mislead all of your consumers in thinking that you were telling them something, and then in turn, the law is going to come and take that back.
But that's
You want your
speculation.
trust.
That's speculation. I mean, you all have stated that your sources at FDA have said 8 milligrams or less would be the allowable amount. I mean, what's your tangible hard evidence that's actually going to happen?
There's no tangible hard evidence that it is going to happen. They have speculated, as you said, that will happen. However, going back to kind of what you asked, you offer a variety of supplements that do not have ephedrine in them and that have not been proven harmful or have caused any deaths that are producing revenues and are going up in your sales, as we showed. Sales are falling, plain and simple, for your company. And sales are falling because consumers are now scared, because anytime you turn on the news each night, there's some story or there's a commercial on about some sort of supplement. If you watch commercials now that your company has put on in the past 2 weeks, all of your commercials promote products that are ephedrine-free, because people now know that ephedrine causes death and causes bodily harm. So, if the question is, yeah, we're promoting healthy living, but why shouldn't we promote these products? If for no other reason financially, you're losing a significant amount of money paying off these cases. You paid out $22.8 million to one gentleman who died of a heart attack.
Well, aren't there risk mitigation factors that are available to us? I mean, doesn't insurance cover a lot of it?
It's a very good question. When I spoke with your parent company in Europe, Royal Numico, I asked them about that because on your balance sheets, it says that you have paid out these amounts yourselves. Now, there's two things, they wouldn't tell me really concrete, they said they couldn't disclose that. There's two things that I thought. The more unlikely, it's cheaper for you to pay it out than to pay your premiums. That's very unlikely though. But what I guessed would be that, or speculated on, would be that there was a statement or a clause in your contracts, basically with your insurance company, that prohibited them from covering you on these products, whether it be because there wasn't warning labels, whether it be because you just weren't covered in that part of your policy. I have no idea.
Are you saying that we have products out there that are basically anti-veteran?
You do.
And we have all these pro ones, is it, and only because of the fear of a veteran, that's what has been driving the sales down?
Well, yeah, I mean, the fear, one, and two, people knowing the results. Yes, people do lose weight with these products, but is there a risk? Yes, there's a significant risk. Death and very serious health problems. So I think people might actually avoid that. Is it more important for me to lose the weight fast using this product? Or should I go over to this product where I may not lose it as much, maybe exercise a little bit more, but risk having serious health problems?
Yes, but what you're asking us to do is make that choice.
We are. We're asking you to make the choice for them and not supply them those products anymore. If they want those products, let them go to a different company than we were telling you. Let the liability be put on a different company. And your company is doing tremendous right now, and the only thing that could cause your downfall in the next 5 years that I forecasted are these products, are the continued sale of these products.
Well, so your point though to us is simply, you're losing money, so discontinue.
You're losing money and
Well, what about
not directly, but you're killing people. You're providing a good to someone that's killing them. Over 100 people have died buying products from your company.
Are there no other alternatives? Are you suggesting that there's, the only alternative is to pull it, not to reduce the dosage, not to say, well, there's not a medium here where we can say that the product itself, isn't it, even the FDA says at a certain level it may not be considered inherently unsafe, but the fact is that the dosage should be reevaluated, which doesn't require re-engineering. It just requires a reassessment of how it's being dispersed and how it's being recommended to be dispersed.
If you were to minimize the dosage to what the FDA recommends, then the products wouldn't be providing anything for the
Not
customer.
necessarily what the FDA recommends, but a lower dosage in total, maybe not necessarily 4 pills per serving, but 2 pills per serving. Have you thought about that impact?
Well, when you start the first week, you begin with 1 pill and 2 pills. And as you move on into the second, third week, your body becomes immune to the product. So in the first week, you realize that you get effects, because I've taken the product before. And the first week, you feel the effects. You feel like you're drinking 10 cups of coffee, and you're just like, go, go, go. The second week, you're more immune to it, so you need to take more in order for your metabolism to keep working that sense. If you were to lower the dosage, it's going to stop working at one point. So it's better for you to take the ephedrine-free products, because at one point, they're going to be at the same level as the ones with ephedrine in them.
Does
If you
it
lower
stop
the dosage,
working, or do you stop feeling the effect?
it stops working. You need to take more product, because you only take the product for a certain amount of time. If you were like, I mean, there are people that continuously take the product, and it stops working after 3 to 4 months. So you need to keep adding supplements in order to get the effect you want.
Well, that education right there, wouldn't that be powerful in the hands of the consumer? If they could make that decision for themselves, if they're looking for a short-term weight loss versus the people are looking maybe for something that's more long-term. And, you know, I look at it as it still comes down to a consumer choice. And I think what you brought to us, I didn't realize that there were that many people having difficulty with it and then some fear associated to the chemical. But I think that, you know, if our competitors aren't reacting the same way, or we have a government agency that's not responding, I think wouldn't our responsibility be education?
Well, education is important, and you go to GNC and they say they do educate their employees. But yet I went last week to one of the stores, and I went and they had glass casings, and I was like, well, they're actually doing something about it. You have to ask an employee to get some information. But I asked her to get a product, she asked me what size, didn't ask me any questions, handed it to me, and sold it to me. Later I asked her why are they in glass casing. The only reason why is because that product is stolen a lot. And so the education, whether your employees are supposed to be educated, it's not happening. So steps need to happen in order either to educate your employees more and enforce that education, or you need to pull the products.
Well, why don't we just, boy, it must really be a desirable product, by the way, if people steal it.
It
People
is.
want it.
And
Yeah, got younger kids that are buying it now.
Well, then why are the sales going down on your truck?
Well, sales are going down, like I said, because of fear of the product. The product's on the news every night, and that is one reason every sales are going down. Why are people stealing the products? I mean, I could speculate, you could speculate, but maybe they're wanted, maybe they are the more expensive products you offer. And, you know, the NFL, as we said, have banned these products. And actually all sporting associations, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, have banned these products because of hallucinations. I myself have talked to football players who I used to play with, and I myself have taken hydroxycut, one of your products. I took it once. I took 3 pills. I passed out and I was in the hospital for 3 days. That's a true story. 3 other teammates that I used to play with also sustained hallucinations from taking Ripken. So that shows it's a real life example. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. And I've turned people off to the product.
Well, we're building on that.
Yeah.
If sales are declining, I have 2 thoughts. If sales are declining, then why wouldn't we just let the market take over here? And if they get to the point where it is economically unfeasible to maintain this product, regardless of the ethical issue, why don't we just leave it to our management to make that decision based on financials? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, why don't we come up with a process where we increase the labeling and ask customers to sign a waiver or an acknowledgement that they understand the risks, and then sell it? Let it isn't that a clearer way to make it their choice and mitigate that risk?
Well, if you were to do that, your main consumer in this product right now is from ages 15 to 25. So they're young adults. So you're going to have young adults coming in and signing these waivers, whatever, and then there's going to be lawsuits saying they're minor, they're this.
Well, let's
and-
implement an R-rated system where we can't sell it, let's card it. So it's not
So
sold
18 or over,
21.
21.
Okay, but let's say, okay, so there is that system, and then people won't buy the product if there's a waiver, and then in a few months, you'll have all the supplies, and you're gonna have to put sales on these products, and you're gonna lose a lot of money.
Well, then won't the market take over and won't the sales decline? And I've got another concern about whether or not pulling these products off the market might have actually the opposite impact on our image than you might suggest. If we pull these products off the market, won't that send a message to the public that we have a tendency to market products that are unsafe, and so therefore the remainder of our products on our shelves are unsafe? Won't that tank us?
Is that an admission of liability as well?
Well,
And if that's a question, I think instead of
I'll try to carve them up. They just come to me.
That's fine.
When you're talking about consumers' trust, I think they're going to see that you've researched the product further after all the word of mouth information that the same consumers are receiving. And going to feel that you're actually taking action when you're realizing that what you're distributing isn't going along with what you're promoting, which is to promote health. So I don't think that your consumers' trust is actually going to decline.
Sounds pretty dangerous.
in response to admission to liability, by pulling these products off of your shelves and saying, we have now realized that there's a dangerous chemical in these products that is causing death, you're not saying that you are liable to these people's deaths. You are saying that, yes, we are selling a product that possibly is causing death, but we are no longer going to provide this product because we feel it is dangerous and hazardous to you, the consumer.
Did we have that information when we began marketing the product?
You had the information, you knew what ephedrine was, you knew how much ephedrine was in each product. You did not know how severe side effects and bodily harm would be.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if, I like the idea of letting the market take care of itself. I think that we would be increasing the fear by putting all that labeling on there and putting that,
Yes,
I'm
you
even
would.
wondering about the behind the glass because, why are we doing that even right now?
I say we put them on sale, 2 for 1, get some money back, 3 for 1.
And empty out inventory.
Yeah, and then it'll be gone. And then we won't do it anymore. And then we keep it real low key. It's not like Tylenol where, people have focused on them. And I haven't seen it in the nightly news, and I watch the news, but, yeah, I think rather than making a big to-do of it, I mean, ethics aside,
Let me ask you another question, though. What would your recommendation be, or how would your recommendation be different and articulated differently?
Yeah.
If this was a moneymaker?
If this was a moneymaker,
yeah.
that's a difficult question. That would be
We try to
ultimately,
only ask the hard one.
ultimately, we left it to your management. If I was sitting in your management, I think I'd really look at the company and look at how much would this hurt us if we pull this product financially, weighed against how much would our consumers trust be hurt, which would all be speculation, of course, would all be forecasting. Will consumers trust us more if we pull these products? Will our sales increase on the other side in our other products that we offer? It's a hard call. It's a hard call.
Well, then let me complicate it since
Go
we're
ahead.
on doing that. If it was a moneymaker, you may suggest holding on to it. You made a conclusion that it's losing money because of this. Can I ask how you know that that's exactly why it's losing money?
Well, there's two areas in which you're losing money as a result of these products. The first area you're losing money is that people are not buying them as much. And as we have speculated, from questioning people, from talking to executives, from talking to attorneys, some people are scared of these products. It's not worth them to take these products anymore. They know people are dying, and word of mouth spreads. If you talk to certain people who have taken your products, not all of them had success, and those who haven't, such as myself, may say to someone, oh, I took that, put me in the hospital for 2 days, I'll never take it again. That other person that just asked them about that product may think twice about taking it. The other area you're losing money in is that it's costing your company a lot of money. These cases, these lawsuits that are being settled, in which the clients are winning. So 2 areas there you're losing money.
So there is still no other alternative in your opinion? Well, maybe, I think we almost identified a second alternative, but is there not then a third that counts on that education? Maybe there is that, I'm not as adverse to some sort of label modification, and I'm not so necessarily adverse to maybe looking at this product again. I'm still confused as to why exactly I have to pull this product. I'm not convinced that there's a concrete connection between even my sales loss. I mean, if my sales loss is only from a few lawsuits, I don't necessarily see that to be a potential trend that goes on indefinitely.
The first case, to help make it a little more concrete for you, the first case that was reported of wrongful death was first quarter of last year, 2001. Since then, until then, sales were increasing by roughly 2 to 3% per quarter of those 5 products. Since that case has been reported, in the last 6 months, another 100 have been brought forward, your sales have gone down 3% per quarter. So, I believe it's black and white on your 10Ks if you look at it, that obviously these cases are what's causing fear in the public and are also causing downfall of sales.
Anybody here take it? Did we?
Would you? Would you take it?
I don't think I'd take it. But I think that's part of my responsibility as a consumer, right? Take a look at what's there. Is there anything that our competitors are doing that is pushing this, putting pressure on the agency to make a decision on this product, or what would we be doing differently?
Okay,
That would make us look a little more socially responsible.
2 local chains that we have personally researched, one called Max Muscle, one called Fitness Deluxe. Those are 2 chains. They're much smaller. They're roughly 3% of your total sales period they represent. However, none of them offer these products anymore. They were pulled off the shelf as of October of last year and December of last year.
Does anybody else that does offer them?
You can order them directly from the manufacturer's Twin Lab online. You can no longer order them from your website, I believe, because you can pull them off your website. I personally do not know. Olga has researched the products a little bit more. She might know what she can buy them.
From what we know, the 2 places he looked at, and you can only purchase them from the manufacturers or GNC. And that should be an example for you. If you're the only company that's providing this product and your sales are still going down, then there's a problem, and I think you should follow the other companies.
Why is the manufacturer still manufacturing it if they believe that their product is contributing to death?
Well, then let it be the liability of the manufacturer to make that choice. You should make the decision and follow. As we said before, the most ethical thing is that you need to care about the consumers. And although education is important, and although you need to promote health in some way, you need to realize that there's many other products that you sell, and your business, it is doing, as Jason said, tremendously. So you don't need these products.
And part of the question is why is Twin Lab and other manufacturers still manufacturing the product? They are also under litigation. They are also paying out tremendous amounts of money because Mr. Segrets, for example, had a separate case against Twin Lab as a result of metabolism and a case against your company, both which were settled. Now, your company is a lot more profitable than a lot of these smaller manufacturers. And you might see these manufacturers actually go under and have to file for bankruptcy because of loss from these products. Then it won't be your decision anymore. You won't be able to get the products from these manufacturers anymore. And a lot of over 80% of the manufacturing from these companies has switched to ephedrine-free products. Metabolift, Zenadrin, Hydroxycut, Rip Fuel, Ultimate, Orange, all are now offered ephedrine-free.
Well, I think you've done a good job of educating us. I would say that I think we're fortunate maybe that we haven't had a good trial yet. I'm not sure if, why the settlements came about those ways. I'm not sure we want to have any of these people roll in.
How soon did the guy die that took it?
The gentleman, Mr. Segrist, took 16 pills the first day, took 16 pills the second day, and worked out, had heart trouble. The third day took 16 more pills, and when he started his workout, collapsed of a heart attack in his local gym, was taken to the hospital, and died 45 minutes later.
Well, was that
Clearly, this is his responsibility. He was supposed to have taken a few pills a day and built up to it, so why are we taking the full responsibility?
Because you sold him the product.
Well, didn't we warn him? that the
Yeah,
product was
exactly.
warning?
He
The
misused
product that
the
he had, the
direction.
hydroxycut bottle he bought from your GNC retail store, said hydroxycut, had absolutely no warning label, no side effects label,
It
not
didn't
even
tell
an
you-
ingredients label on it.
It didn't tell him how many to take?
No. Did not tell him what to take.
Well, let's fire that label on.
That's all 5 year products.
Why isn't that the solution? In that, let's take that particular case and close it off, defer to my lead judge here. Why isn't that the solution in this, for these products? If indeed this poor man took more than he should have, knew he had heart trouble,
Oh,
why?
they didn't.
They
They
had
had
Didn't know he had
Okay,
trouble.
okay,
No
he
previous
knew he had
history.
heart trouble, but why isn't it enough? I'm struggling with this.
Why aren't labels enough, as we
For
said?
us, well, two things. If indeed there was no dosage, recommended dosage on the label of the product, and there was no warning label, and it hasn't been banned by the FDA, I'm just struggling with why our solution here shouldn't be to make sure we put a warning label, make sure we make the dosage correct and obvious on the product. And maybe go so far as to, restricting the age of the purchaser and making sure that we hand out another information leaflet with every purchase and getting them to sign over. Why aren't those fixes in this kind of environment where it's not regulated, it's not banned? Why isn't that the ethical solution here to let the consumer make the choice?
Well, the FDA now requires that you do have warning labels on all your products. Now, some of your bottles that you sell do, and half of them don't. And that's what's surprising when I went in, because I was expecting them all to have warning labels. The one I bought does not have a warning label. I
Well,
bought
it's
it.
unregulated by the FDA, how can the FDA require us to have a warning label?
Well, they recommended that there be a warning label. But why are you selling partially? Are you having half of them have recommendations and half of them not? If that group that purchases the half without a warning dies, you're gonna have continuous suits.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, okay, let's fix that problem. Let's put the warnings out there. And for those, maybe we're running off inventory that was pre-warning label. Let's fix that. Let's slap a sticker on every single bottle, let's hand out a flyer. Why isn't that enough?
That was the first alternative I looked at for your company. When I spoke with Mr. Sword, the courts decided in settlement, now keep in mind, you did not go to trial with this case, that a warning label alone and a recommended dosage still would not have been enough. Your company still would have been liable.
No, I don't get that. The case wasn't tried, how did the court decide that?
The court, well, there's pre-trial, of course, and you settled with Mr. Segrist, Mr. Sword, on behalf of Mr. Segrist. And your company was pushing, well, we have warning labels in these bottles. They said, well, his did not. Here's his bottle. Mr. Shorey said he addressed further because 6 other deaths that he is now trying, well, 6 of his 36, had been taken Zenadrin, and they did have warning labels on the bottle and recommended dosage on the bottle. And your company, your legal department, is still settling those cases because they are still liable.
Well, they're afraid to.
Most likely. One, it would be costly. Would it be this costly? Here's what you have to ask. Your sales are declining at 12% per year, roughly, 3% per quarter. You now are offering products that are much more popular that are ephedrine-free. Ethically, these products are killing people. So you can't print out more leaflets, you can hand out more leaflets. But with a waiver program like you talked about, or a leaflet, or warning labels, all you're doing more is probably scaring the consumers more and driving down sales more.
And costing a lot of money.
And costing a lot of money.
Labor and education and distribution.
I mean, realistically, if I was in your shoes as a management, as a board of directors, I would remove these products. It makes you look a lot better to consumers. It shows that you care about their health first. And also, in the long run, will save you a lot of money financially.
Oh, that was just what I wanted.
Very good.
Thank you.
Are we doing that?
We better do public comment.
I think we closed the forum.
No, we switched to the critique. Oh, no, because you
This is
don't
the last-
have another
this is the
chance
last
to
round.
fix it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
no, I want to tell you.
you can critique us
anyway.
still.
Lord, you did
Actually-
better. You know, I judged you before.
Yeah.
And it's really better. I like it. I have all good things on it. And you said the right thing in the end. Ultimately, we hired you, you gave us your opinion. You don't have to continue to try
Yeah.
and make us change our mind. That's your job. Here are your risks. Go take them. Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm not taking
Good
the
laugh.
spot.
I think you guys did a great job. I like, a little bit, this room's a little bit different than the ones I've been in, but I like how you moved around. But I like that the actual presentation drew us to listening more versus reading, which is a real plus for me at least. I like to listen and watch it all. And I think you handled us because we were kind of wondering. You did a good job with that. Anyway.
Yeah, I kind of set that tone, because Tom always does that to you guys. You know, he really takes the other side, and so I thought, well, I'll just, besides it's a pet peeve of mine, that people need to take responsibility for themselves, but your intro was very good. This time it was very clear who I am, who you are, where you're going, how you're going to get there, and in the end, you tell us where you've been, and that's real important. I particularly like that you kept in order your paper. You sat and your paper said where you were supposed to be. So if I wanted to look down and see your names, I could do that. Literally no one else thinks to do that. So that, it was helpful for me. I like that. Your graphics were super. I would still like to see a little bit less reading from a couple of you, let's see, who spoke? You spoke a little fast, you spoke a little slowly. So you speed up, you slow
Together
down,
you're
you'll be
great.
perfect. The financials were good. You convinced me, so I thought you guys did a good job and you looked good.
Thank you very much.
And I'd hire you if I were the business.
I like how you scared us that in the sense that I didn't realize that maybe our competitors had withdrawn from the market so much that we were probably the last one out there pushing these, and I like the fact that you brought the product in.
Yeah.
And let us know where our story wasn't as straight as we thought it was in terms of labeling and responsibility.
And personal little snippets and scenarios are real big sellers, I think. Real big.
Was your mandate to make all of it fact-based? I mean, is it all this true stuff?
I talked to Mr. Sawyer. I talked to GNC's executives out in Europe for over 3 hours, and I really was hospitalized like over 3 days.
But I mean, are there sales in the veteran-based products declining?
Yes, they are. For weeks I went through the 10 days.
And why are you taking them off the market? Just for that
Between you and now that we're done with the presentation, after speaking with them in Europe, this June or July, they're scheduled to be taking all the products off the market.
Good job, everyone, in nicely defending your position.
Thank you very much.
And you didn't waver, and that's very admirable.
Bravo. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is you should be very proud of yourselves. You did a very good job. You were very well researched. I kept once in a while I'd listen to you say something, you'd almost contradict yourself in the sentence. And you'd say, we're not saying it doesn't kill people, but it kills people. And it's kind of like, well, you're telling me I've got something that kills people. I got the shock value. But the point's clear. I think any board who's not pulled up product should have their heads examined and be removed.
Yeah, I would even pull on the emphasis on other damage, because for personal, I I have some friends that have taken that, and a couple of them have lost the elasticity in their lungs, all kinds of crazy things. And just hearing about hospital stays, people who damage their health without it ever ending in death.
I'm so happy you both are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like, I mean, that's a harrowing experience. I can't even imagine taking something and, you know, thinking it was gonna have one effect and kind of spinning around. Ooh.
Yeah, it was bad.
And it's scary because a lot of teenagers don't realize, like, you don't think, oh, it must be this, and you don't care. I mean, I know I didn't care at the time, and now as you get older, you start hearing this, like, after sleep, it's scary. Like, I would never take this product again.
It would have been, I think, more compelling, difficult more presentation if one factor's changed, and that was the product's committee.
Yeah, that was very difficult.
And I think then that the focus on the ethical pieces, my personal view was that there was a lot of focus on the finances and not as much focus on the pure ethical piece. If you're appealing to the board of directors, yeah, there's two buttons you can push there. The easiest button to push, by the way, is that if there's liability for the company, the directors themselves may have personal liability if they move forward knowing the product, blah, blah, blah. That's, that's a button to push, that you're gonna push. Number two, though, is if you're gonna zero in on the ethical piece, probably should be a real impact to the personal ethics of each board member. And stripping away the finances, stripping away the legal, all that stuff. The compelling thing is to knowing what you know, can you in good conscience, regardless of whether or not legally or financially you can do this, can you in good conscience do this? Which is really the bottom line appeal you have to make in this next.
Yeah, you kind of touched on that. Would you want to give it to your kid? And maybe it's, do you want to go home at night and look at your family knowing that you contributed to the death of
But
your
understand that's a double-edged sword.
That
You're
is.
playing to a board director, getting that personal when you're my consulting firm. You confronted me.
Well-
Okay, I mean, but I mean, I got the point, but I'm saying, it depends on how well you know that audience. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you have to make them understand. I mean,
There's a related issue there too, there's another button to push there, and that is that if, and who knows if the GNC has an ethics policy. I don't know if you found that out in your research.
They don't have a separate, as of when I researched it a month ago, they don't have a separate ethics division, such as, Northrop Grumman or Boeing, or, very big deal in the
Well, I guess
corporation.
the point where I was making is, gee, if you really want to convince some, group of managers or directors that it's unethical, you hammer on a policy, and then there's an employee piece there. There's an employee population piece. You kind of almost got there, but you didn't go right there, and that is, what message are you sending to your employees about the proper way to do business, the proper level of ethics to maintain in your company? If you're really saying to them, hey, we don't care, then where does that lead? Well, does that then send a message to the employees that, oh, I guess unethical conduct is okay, and so therefore maybe it's okay for me to steal, maybe it's okay for me to, oversell, all that stuff. That might be another button.
Yeah, often companies say we settled it, which means we made somebody whole. We were able to resolve it, and, we're always willing to do that. What university do you guys represent?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.